Greetings, friends. My name is Charles Kubanks, and I would like to welcome you to Charles' classic playthrough of Crash Bandicoot, the Sane Trilogy. Now, this is a game that is a remaster of my favorite game trilogy from 1996 through 2000 of Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 1. And I played those games way back when with my brother and even my sister for as long as those games worked. They were my favorites, and they were made by Naughty Dog and Universal Studios, and I just loved them. They were my introduction to 3D platforming, and no game has come close to the place that Crash Bandicoot has in my heart, and no mascot has either. I have other favorites like the Dark Souls series and Bloodborne and games like that, but nothing comes close to Crash Bandicoot. Even Kirby in Dreamland, which was my first game I ever played, I'll say it comes in second. Everything else comes after that. And so I wanted to play this, and I figured out how to upload video and audio from my PlayStation 4. And when this was announced, I immediately thought, I am going to buy that game. Doesn't matter how much it costs. And it actually costs less than most games on the PS4, which are sold for at least $60. And that's just ridiculous for a game, even these days. But we're getting, more technologically advanced as a society, so games, I guess, can actually sell for that much and it be okay. I can be okay with that. If the games are good, and this is a game that definitely does justice to the originals, and that's all that it was meant to do. It wasn't meant to improve upon the old ones, it was just to bring Crash Bandicoot into the next generation. And it definitely succeeds. So, let's just get into it. Those classic sounds, the classic music. Nostalgia, is strong with this one. But there's lots of loading in this game. The original games didn't have large loading screens, except for Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, which was the fourth game in the series, not done by Naughty Dog, which is arguably the worst in the Crash franchise. That wasn't, a Crash of the Titans or Mind Over Mutant. Those are probably some of the worst. But here's the intro.
Cortex, we haven't determined the cause of past failures.
Looks beautiful.
This Bandicoot will be my general. He will lead my Cortex commandos to world domination.
World domination.
This time, I shall reign triumphant.
They're such midgets. These are all of the bosses that you'll be encountering.
Quickly, into the vortex.
The animations are so good.
The vortex is not ready.
That's Embryo.
What it could do.
Embryo is my favorite. The Cortex Vortex malfunctions because Crash is just too awesome.
Failure again. Capture him.
Out the window. And into the ocean.
Prepare the female Bandicoot.
Tawna Bandicoot. She actually has strength and independence. She's an independent woman. Hey, Aku. Yeah, that's his name. We always called him Hoochibigao because, we never read the manual. I mean, I did eventually read the manual, but... And here is Insanity Beach. On Wumpa Island. Yeah! We're back, baby! So, the first thing that I have to say is this is absolutely wonderful. The sounds are great. It's weird seeing the two-dimensional sprite in 3 dimensions of the life. It's 5 lives that they give you straight out the box. And one negative thing is the water here, the water effect, looks much better in the original game on the PS1 than it does here. This just looks like a crazy one-dimensional sprite. Or two-dimensional, I guess, if you want to call it that. The original looked like a tide coming in and out. This one doesn't. It just looks like a splash effect. So, Yeah, I love the style of this game. I love this first world. I played more of this first world than any other part of the game. I only finished the game once back in the day. You could do some exploits by jumping onto the ship in the old game, but they've gotten rid of a few bugs, I see. I've always wanted to go back in these and have it be an open world game, but it's a linear game, as you can see. That little, you know, thing on the left was all of the guidance you're given for this game, which is great. At least they tell you how to play. They didn't in the original game. You had to read the manual. Here's the Aku mask that gives you partial invincibility. It's one hit, one death. You fall down a pit, you die. You have to start over. And that's just normal for platforming. This is the area that was most shown in the E3 demonstrations. He does move a bit slower than the original game, so I'll tell you that. And you slow down when you jump, which is a little weird, but I guess it makes sense. It is momentum-based. You can't keep your momentum if you're just hurtling through the air. But yeah, this game feels, looks, and sounds amazing. Checkpoint. It used to be 2 separate words, you know, check, whew, point, whew. This time they lessened that. And what I always did, and what I'm going to do in this playthrough, is just play around with this. I'm not super serious about getting all the gems or the relics, but I want to play with this, and just, you'll be along for the ride if you want to be. I know some of you that are like speedrunners or whatever will be like, get to the game, get through it, you idiot. But this is how I played it when I was little. I just love the atmosphere. The music actually changes here. The atmosphere does a little bit too. And here you have Aku's third mask of invincibility. I love that you can shoot enemies away. The enemies are always amphibious, lizards. Lizards are enemies of bandicoots, I guess? I don't think they eat bandicoots. That is an exploit that I figured out in this game. I played the original, just going through it from this left portion, because the right portion seemed too challenging. I always ran out of Aku before I got to the pit. Most of this game is just you go straight through it, and the levels are very short. But you can backtrack and see, this just looks crazy. This looks like a horrible pit. It's bigger than all the others. I almost died there. So I usually just took the left route, the easier route. And everything looks new, everything looks brand new, polished. Aku looks great, but they kept all the same designs. One difference that you can see if you look at Crash Bandicoot is he doesn't look just puzzled. He looks happy. All of the time he has a smile on his face, like he's going on an adventure. We're going on an adventure! But in the originals, he had this puzzled look on his face. He always was kind of afraid, kind of crazed. And here we have the gem for getting all of the boxes. Hallelujah. Bleh. Da-da-da! It's hilarious. They're so faithful to the originals, and I can't ask for anything more, and no one should. Because that's what it was about. It wasn't about adding content, it was about making it beautiful, and just having this game to play. And it's interesting looking at all the other YouTubers that are playing this game these days, and, you know, those who have played the originals versus the ones who haven't. It's very different. Here's the world map. This is Wumpa Island. You can go back and forth. It's very much like Donkey Kong Country, although in 3 dimensions. And that's what they were trying to sell with this game, was 3-dimensional games on the PS1 over the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. And it does look a lot better. Everything was very plain in the originals. And this second level is my favorite, Jungle Rollers. Going to roll right into this. Yeah, but the loading screens are a bit sad, but they give you hints. Spinning TNT is deadly. Jump on it instead. And in 3 seconds, it will blow up. They don't tell you that part. Yeah. My favorite level of all of the games. Haha! You keep the Aku mask that you got from the past levels, if you didn't die with him. Oh, man. This is a challenging game. This game is all about the challenge. Most games were back in the day. Nowadays, it's all about experience. And of course, this is a great experience because, I mean, listen to this. There's such, I don't know, atmosphere, attitude about this. It's very unique. There's nothing like Crash Bandicoot except for, you know, in terms of gameplay, Mario and Sonic and things like that, but the collectathons and the platformers, linear platformers, are kind of a dead thing, although this will hopefully bring them back, because they didn't fully explore the linear platformer, I don't think. Nothing is ever completely fully explored or dead in terms of media. There's always a new spin. Get it? Spin on things. This was always a proof of skill. I always just kind of left this alone when I was a kid, because I was never skilled enough to get the life in the middle. So if you spin TNT, you die. I did it! Oh, why did that happen? Kaboom! I just wanted to see the kaboom. Got a little greedy with my kabooms. Die, piranha. Yeah, it's so satisfying. Something... Games are all about catharsis. There's the bonus stage tokens, the heads of your friends and enemies. I mean, I guess that's kind of fitting with the, that kind of tribal aspect. I mean, Crash Bandicoot is a punk, no doubt about it. Kind of a skater punk. Very 90s style. But if we're talking about, you know, going in Australian jungles and things, with the Aboriginal animals and Tasmanian theming, then yeah, him collecting the heads of his friends and enemies is very fitting. There's Tana getting taken away by Cortex. Bring her back. In the original, she just stood there and, like a showgirl, just standing there doing nothing. And that's one thing that they actually did improve upon in this game, is Tana gets spirited away by Cortex in every bonus stage. Well, that was rude. Gosh darn it. Anyway, I'm glad that, like, these things aren't necessary. They're just add a little obstacle, but it's so fun to jump on these things and jump over them. You can hear, kind of, a little bit, the difference in material that you jump on. It's like, this is stone, this is sand. Stone, sand. Anyway. The end. Didn't get all the boxes because there's a secret gem that you have to get from the later stages in order to get all the boxes. And yes, this is a very punishing game if you don't get all of the boxes, which you can't possibly get in the first stage, so you just get hit 3 times for no reason. But, you know, if you don't take your licking, you'll never become a real boy. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is not a game for snowflakes. Anyway, that's all the time I have for now. Thank you for watching. I will continue this game. I'm only doing 15-minute spurts, so please subscribe, like anything that you want to, if you want to see more of this. I love this game. I'll just be gushing about it and talking about the particulars of what's different, and just having fun. So, again, God bless. Remain classical, as opposed to stay classy. And yeah, see you next time.